Yizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You could tap in or you could tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now you already know time, energy, the highest forms of currency. My G's, I know they got you out here chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that paper, stacking that cheese, that cheddar, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time and energy are the highest forms of currency. My G's, at all times is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation gear. We on our way to the top, well over 50,000 subscribers, and we on our way to 60K, all right? Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new subscribers, all my new investors, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube. Yours truly, Grown Man Business TV, is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be, all right? Now, do me a favor, my G's. Wipe off your feet before you step into the big house, you understand me? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube. Grown Man Business TV, yours truly, is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be, all right? Now, listen, man. I got a lot of people in the DM. Yo, Big G and BTV, what's your perspective on everything that's going on with Black Sam and the Marathon Burger shooting out there in LA, California, Long Beach? What's your thought process? You understand what I'm saying? What's your perspective on everything that's taking place with the Marathon Burger, Black Sam, and the shooting out there in Cali? And I gotta say, man, absolutely nasty work. You feel what I'm saying? It's nasty work that people can't just have a good time, open black businesses and take things to the next level and keep the marathon continuing without this type of violence, without these type of situations. But I'm not surprised. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not surprised, and it's not unheard of when you got gang activity involved in these situations. Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain. We're going to have a conversation. We're not going to stay long, but I want to speak to one of the biggest mistakes Nipsey Hussle ever made in his life. One of the biggest mistakes Nipsey Hussle ever made, you understand what I'm saying, in his existence, and that is joining the Rolling 60 Crips. That is being involved with gang culture. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to speak to that because, a lot of people is asking my perspective. And, I said, you know what, let me go live. Let me tap in with the people. And let me just give y'all my thought process. You understand? Let me connect the dots. You know what I mean? Nobody on YouTube is going to connect the dots the way Grown Man Business TV is going to connect the dots. And the one thing that all of these situations have in common is the gang element. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to speak to that. But again, if nobody else wants to say it, I'm going to say it. Nipsey Hussle's biggest mistake, his biggest error in this life, in his existence, was joining the gang. Participating in the gang element out there in LA. And if you notice, right, even after his death, even after his passing, this gang element is still, a chink in your armor. It's still a stain on your jacket. It's nasty work. And we're going to speak to that, man. Big salute to the chat. We're not going to stay long. You already know the higher-ups and the elites are paying attention. So before we go any further, before I give y'all this pure dope straight off the brick directly into the bottles, right? Before I do that, you already know I got to do some customizations to the chat. You understand me? The higher-ups and the elites are playing chess at the highest level. The higher-ups and the elites are always trying to shadow ban the channel and muffle the message. The higher-ups and the elites understand that Grown Man Business TV is an absolute threat to the establishment. Not only am I a threat to the establishment, right, but the revolution will be televised right here in these YouTube streets. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. So let me do that before we get into this. But again, nasty work what took place out there in Long Beach, California, in regards to the Marathon, burger being open, grand opening. You know what I mean? Nasty work. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, we're going to speak to this situation directly to it. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going, we don't step on the content over here. We don't do that. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But the gang element it's a cancer in the culture. The gang element is nasty work. The gang element is full of cowards. The gang element is not there to push forward the community, to elevate the community. The gang element has been weaponized against black people, against the urban community, to destroy the community. And nobody wants to talk about that. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to connect the dots when it come to that. Well, that's what we about to do here. Is what it is, my G. All right. Now listen, man, you see that right there at the bottom of the chat. You see that. You see that right there at the bottom of the chat, right? Before you get in here with your Twitter fingers, using your Twitter fingers to do what the Twitter fingers like to do, all in the comment section, using your Twitter fingers with your Twitter fingers, doing the Twittering like your Twitter fingers like to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. All right, yours truly. Make sure you hit the like button at least. Okay? Now, let's get into the situation. You know, if you don't know, there was a shooting that took place at the Marathon grand opening, the Marathon Burger grand opening out there in Long Beach, California. Absolutely nasty work. Multiple people injured, and there was somebody that was DOA, dead on arrival, right? And you got a lot of people saying, you know, there has been a shooting at the grand opening of the Marathon Burger, and why is this happening, and why is that happening? And the downloads begin to download. Now, on this channel, right, we always show Nipsey Hussle love. We always, you know what I mean, show a lot of respect to the homie Nipsey Hussle, to his ideas that he bestowed upon us, to the things that he stepped into, to his courage, right? To his motivation, his entrepreneurship. We always speak to the positive in Nipsey Hussle. And in this particular live stream, I want to shine some light on the negative side of Nipsey Hussle. I want to shine some light on one of Nipsey Hussle's worst mistakes that he made in his existence. You know, in the time that he was present on this earth, in this matrix, he made a lot of great decisions. He did a lot of good deeds for the community and for his family. But the greatest mistake Nipsey Hussle ever made is joining the Rolling 60 Crip gang. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to just shine a light on the Rolling 60 Crips. I want to say any gang. Any gang. You understand what I'm saying? But in particular, the Rolling 60 Crips. That was his biggest flaw. That was his biggest mistake. And ultimately is the reason he was annihilated. He was assassinated. He was deleted in broad daylight. It had, you know, nothing more, nothing less than his ties to a street gang is what took a wise man like Nipsey Hussle. You understand what I'm saying? And nobody really wants to pinpoint that. Nobody really wants to speak directly to that. You know, I got a lot of love for Nipsey Hussle. Learned a lot from that brother while he was here with us in this matrix. And it's so disgusting that, you know, not even a Nipsey Hussle could be bigger than the program. You understand what I'm saying? And that was his biggest mistake. You know, Nipsey Hussle joined that gang in a time in his life where he wasn't sure. We all grow up in poverty. We all come up in the urban community, right? And as young kings, at that present time in our life, we are not sure what our future holds. And we have all of these ambitions, and we have all of these goals, and we have all of these dreams while we're living in our mother's house. But as soon as we step out the front door, we are highly influenced by our environment. You know, the higher ups and the elites was playing the game with us way before we understood that we was in a trap, we was in a maze. They understood that you will eventually become a product of your environment, no matter how strong you are, no matter how wise you are, no matter what you are put down here to be, your environment will affect your growth. It will become a part of your process. You understand what I'm saying? We all have fell victim to peer pressure, to our environment. And Nipsey Hussle was no different. And Nipsey Hussle made a grave mistake by joining the Rolling 60 Crip gang. Because, you know, when Nipsey Hussle lost his life, I remember hearing certain people say that there is nobody bigger than the program. in California, in LA, when it comes to the gang culture, one of their favorite sayings is that nobody is bigger than a program. And I always felt like Nipsey Hussle was bigger than the program. He had grown and become bigger than the program. But with this situation, right, out there in Long Beach, with the grand opening of the Marathon Burger, where multiple people being shot, with multiple people being injured, with somebody losing their life to gang violence at such a, prestige grand opening, right? The downloads downloaded and it made me change my mind. It made me finally realize that nobody is bigger than the gang. Nobody, not even Nipsey Hussle, not even Nipsey Hussle, Nip the Crip, could become bigger than the program. And again, the downloads downloaded because I always felt like that was hate. I always felt like that was jealousy, that was envy. These gang members saw that Nipsey Hussle was different. They saw that Nipsey Hussle was a young king, and they wanted the title. They wanted to put this phrase out there that nobody is bigger than the program. But Nipsey Hussle passed away about 7 years ago. March 31st, Nipsey Hussle will have been deceased, assassinated for 7 years. And even in Nipsey's death, even in his assassination, gang violence is still at the forefront of his identity. Gang violence is still a part and connected to his legacy. You understand? 7 years pass and the marathon is being continued and somebody still chooses gang violence. The same violence that took Nipsey Hussle's life broad daylight in that parking lot. And nobody really wants to connect that because what you got to understand is Nipsey brought that energy into his circle. Nipsey is the son and the family member that joined the gang. Nipsey is who brought the Rolling 60 Crips into his family circle. Black Sam is a strong dude. Black Sam was out there in them LA streets and he was getting money selling DVDs, but he never succumbed to the peer pressure of actually being jumped into the gang. He was affiliated. You know what I'm saying? His homies is that's where he's from, the Crenshaw area, but Black Sam never got jumped into the gang. Nipsey Hussle, the great, the one that we all show love and a high amount of respect to, is the one who made the fatal mistake of being jumped into that gang and bringing that gang into his family circle. You understand? A situation like the grand opening of the Marathon Burger in Long Beach, California, you would think that these gang members would respect Nipsey Hussle and his family enough not to bring that type of activity to that environment, to that, you know what I'm saying, joyous occasion. But again, I finally realized it. Because Nipsey Hussle is not bigger than the program, it don't matter who he is. It don't matter how great Nipsey Hussle is. It don't matter if his brother was out there. It don't matter if his mother was out there. It don't matter if his son is out there. The gang culture is going to do whatever the gang culture want to do, and it is going to devour souls. It don't matter that Nipsey Hussle gave his life. It don't matter that his son or his brother or somebody could have been injured. Hey, it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. And I want to go a little bit deeper into this for a lot of y'all that are not familiar with young Nipsey Hussle. A lot of y'all got introduced to Nipsey Hussle in his death, in his assassination, right? But young Nipsey Hussle had a mixtape series called Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Hey, look, listen to me. Get them likes up. Young Nipsey Hussle had a mixtape series called Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Okay? I really didn't get that deep into that mixtape series because it was a lot of gang talk. It was a lot of gang banging. It was a lot of banging on wax. And I ain't from LA. I never been in a gang, so I didn't really relate to the rawness of what he was doing, but I did listen to them albums. And you know, bullets don't have no name. You know, Nipsey spoke these situations into fruition. He spoke these situations into existence with that music, with that energy, with those songs and with those words that he put on wax before he knew he was going to be who he was going to be. Before Nipsey is just, you know, he didn't know he had $100 million plate coming to him. He didn't know that, you know, he was the one. By the time he figured out exactly who he was, he had already done those mix CDs. He had already put those spells into the universe. Bullets. Why is niggas outside without no gun? They think this shit is a game. But no, not at all. I pop out running, show it niggas I ain't. Bullets ain't got no name. Why is y'all niggas acting like y'all gonna survive the shots? Shoot that nigga, kill that nigga, make sure that you get him, cause bullets ain't got no. Pull the trigger, shoot that nigga, make sure that you get him, cause bullets ain't got. These is Nipsey Hussle's words when you dig into his discography. When you dig into his archives of music, these are the words of Nipsey Hussle. Bullets ain't got no name. Pull the trigger. Shoot that nigga. Make sure that you get him. Okay? So, again, I wanted to speak to this because before we can fully feel sorry and say, why is this happening? And, you know, how is this going down? And why would they do this? Well, this is the energy that Nipsey Hussle piggybacked off of to get to success. This was when Nipsey actually walked through the door. You know, a lot of people feel like Nipsey didn't want to sign to a record label. Nipsey was independent. Nipsey was an entrepreneur. So that means that Nipsey did not walk through the door. But I'm telling you, that song, when you go back and listen to Bullets Ain't Got No Name, listen to the song Bullets Ain't Got No Name. That song is an initiation. That is a ritual. That is the door being opened. Pull the trigger. Shoot that nigga. Make sure that you get him, because bullets ain't got no name. And look what happened to Nipsey Hussle. Look what happened to that young man at the Marathon Burger grand opening. Somebody pulled the trigger. They shot that nigga. They made sure that these words came into existence. And I got a lot of love for Nipsey Hussle. I got a lot of respect for his business acumen. You understand what I'm saying? Direct to consumer. Yeah. F the middleman. Build up a platform and make sure that your investors and your subscribers are proud to pay. Yeah. I got a lot of love and respect for Nipsey Hussle's business acronym, his wisdom, and his knowledge. But I always had a disdain and an underlying dislike for Nipsey Hussle gang activity. Nipsey Hussle walked through the door. Nipsey Hussle was being led by the higher ups and the elites. And he had got so far, so knee deep into what they had, into that energy. There is no turning back. It don't matter how many Dr. Sebi documentaries you drop. It don't matter how many, motivational quotes you give. It don't matter. After you drop a song like Bullets Ain't Got No Name and you push that to the community and you feed that to your people, the same people that you said you had love for, the same people that you was trying to save, you feed them Bullets Ain't Got No Name. And then you turn around and you give them the marathon and you give them motivation. That's the work of the higher ups and the elites. That's the work of the reptilian. That's the work of them people. Steve Lobel, dudes like that gave Nipsey Hussle an opportunity. What you think they was listening to? It wasn't no motivational speak. They was listening to songs like Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Go listen to that song. Pull the trigger. Shoot that nigga. Make sure that you get him. Nipsey Hussle's biggest mistake was walking through the door of gang activity. Okay? Now, you know, I want to go a little bit deeper. Big salute to the chat. I want you to understand something, right? After Nipsey Hussle gave us Bullets Ain't Got, well, he didn't even give us. He gave California. He gave Los Angeles. He gave Gang Culture an album, a mixtape series called Bullets Ain't Got No Name. Nipsey started understanding who he was, and he dropped the album called The Marathon. The Marathon Continues album. Now listen, that's when I was introduced to Nipsey Hussle, right? And in this body of work, what Nipsey was trying to do is save the community. He was trying to speak life into gang members. He was trying to speak life into the gang culture. He was setting a demonstration showing the environment that he came from, that you can be a gang member and you can graduate to a CEO. You can graduate to a boss, a real estate. You can graduate to cryptocurrency. You know, gang culture is not the end all be all. You understand me? And that is another mistake, vital mistake that Nipsey Hussle made. Okay, get the likes up in here, man. Well over 200 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing with the like button when you come in here. Wipe off your feet before you step into the building. All right? Now, where are we gonna go with this? Y'all ain't gonna, you know, I connect the dots like none other. There is nobody on YouTube that's gonna connect the dots like Grown Man Business TV, right? So follow me on this. Now Nipsey is speaking motivation to the gang members. He's speaking life into the gang culture, into a young black male trapped in the matrix, right? And he wants to save the community. This is where it's going to get deep at. And I want y'all to understand that, you know, these downloads, they're powerful. For some reason, right, as black men, when we see some success and we see some forward progression, we automatically and instantly, we want to save the community. We're going to get into that. Big salute to the chat. Now, before we get into that angle, and I want y'all to understand it's a deep angle, I want to get right into one of these receipts. Big salute to the chat. You know, I don't go nowhere without the receipts. I don't go nowhere without the receipts, all right? So we're going to get into this receipt of what happened out there with the Marathon Burger, and we're going to get deeper. We're going to get deeper into what this is. Nobody is bigger than the program. Yeah. I'm a firm believer now. Nobody is bigger than the program. You cannot become bigger than the program. It might look like you're bigger than the program. It might, you know, it might be a mirage. We might be able to perceive that you're bigger than the program, but in all actuality, nobody is bigger than the program. Let's get into this. Big salute to the chat.
Oh my God, guys, it's a fight. It's a fight. Oh my God. They shoot it. 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 Oh my God. They shoot it. They shoot it. Oh my God, Lord, cover me. Cover me with your blood. Oh my God, Jesus. Jesus, oh my God. Oh Jesus, they fight. They shoot it. Oh God.
Oh, it's shooting, though? You guys smell it? You smell it?
And this is why we can't have nice things. That's what I said. That's what I said. So we can have nice things.
What did Kevin say? We can never get too comfortable.
We have to go to the park down below and see what's going on.
Our I'm not going.
Oh, right there.
Wait, I gotta go, sir. I gotta go. All right.
Oh my God, there it is, guys. There it is.
Damn.
Get the shots right there, girl.
Dog.
Nobody got these kind of shots. We're the only ones out here.
Facts.
Yeah, we're the only ones out here, girl.
Damn, dog, that's crazy.
Damn, there it is, guys. There it is. Thank you guys for the gifts, man. This shit's exclusive content. Your boy Easy. You got the chopper. We got the chopper now. Hey, shit. Yeah, his homeboy right here. He didn't. Damn, look at all that. Oh my, look at all that blood on the ground. Look at the blood on the ground. You see it over there? There's a lot right there on the ground. Nah, man. Nah, he didn't make. Nah, man. Man, my condolences. Even though I don't know the guys, my condolences goes to both of these guys, man. This guy right here, he made it. He got lucky. But you could tell the guy's sad, man. You could tell, man. His friend's gone, man.
Ooh, oh yeah. They was turning up out there. And again, it's a lot of people, yo, GMB TV, you know, why would they do that? We can't just do this. Well, the legacy that Nipsey Hussle left behind is a beautiful thing, but it was built on blood. It was built on walking through the door. It was built on gang culture. It was built on destroying your community and your environment. That is the foundation of what Nipsey Hussle was delivering. And again, a lot of y'all don't remember that because a lot of y'all got in tune with Nipsey Hussle, victory lap. But I'm talking about bullets ain't got no name. You know, when you build a foundation off of that type of music, off of that type of energy, off of that type of vibration, this is the result, my G. If it's 1 year, 5 years, or 7 years from now, it could be 20 years from now. It is somebody that listened to those songs. It is somebody that has been poisoned with those vibrations and those frequencies. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Pull the trigger, shoot that nigga, make sure that you get him. Make sure that you get that nigga, kill him. That's what Nipsey was pushing into the community before he got positive, before he got smart, before he got wise. And I want to give y'all some game because before we go into this next angle, you know, I want to stay right here. You got to understand something, right? You know, a smart man will learn from his own mistakes, but a wise man will learn from the mistakes of others. You understand what I'm saying? A smart man is going to learn from his own mistakes, and a wise man is going to learn from the mistakes of others. And in this life right here, it's a duality. You know, it's a yin and a yang. So sometimes you're going to be the smart man that's able to learn from your own mistakes, and other times you're going to be the wise man and you're going to be able to learn from other people's mistakes. And in this particular situation, I might not have made as much money as Nipsey Hussle. I might not have a bigger platform than Nipsey Hussle. I might not have had the biggest influence more than Nipsey Hussle. But the one thing that I have over Nipsey Hussle is that I'm here, he's not. Right now, in this duality, I'm the wise man that was able to look at Nipsey Hussle's mistakes and learn from it. Yeah, that's where you got to be able to see through the smoke and mirrors, and you got to be able to understand what you're dealing with. With all that money, with all that fame and all that fortune, I'm here learning from your mistakes and poisoning the community. You know, in a time that you don't know if you're going to live or survive. You don't know what your future is. You don't know, you know, you have dreams of being rich, but you don't really believe or really know if that's going to come into fruition. Taking the easy way out and poisoning the community, selling crack in the community, selling gangster rap and drugs to the community, selling a death frequency to the community. See, that don't go away. And it really made me realize again why too, you know, why was Nipsey Hussle so adamant about motivational quotes and motivational speaking? You know, when Nipsey Hussle was on tour for the most part, he didn't really perform Bullets Ain't Got No Name. You know, before I go into this next angle, I want to say this. I believe, and the downloads tell me, right, that the older Nipsey Hussle got, the more embarrassed and the more cringe Bullets Ain't Got No Name became. I believe that Nipsey became embarrassed about the poison he had pushed into the community. And with that embarrassment, it made him lean way more into motivational rap. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneur, cryptocurrency, real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like really wanting to save the community. Because again, you didn't hear Nipsey Hussle talking about Bullets Ain't Got No Name, the mixtape series. You didn't really hear him, you know, doing those songs. You didn't really, you never really heard Nipsey really like elaborating on that. If you didn't know, or if I didn't tell you about that, you wouldn't even know about it. Okay? Now, let's go into another angle. You know, after Bullets Ain't Got No Name, and after you know, Nipsey Hussle beating his case and being able to go forward and obtain, you know, certain deals and you know, grow his likeness in this industry, you know, grow the likeness of Nipsey Hussle. He began to motivate the people. That's how I got introduced to Nipsey Hussle. The marathon continues. Keys to the City. You know what I'm saying? Blue Laces. Yeah, I don't give a yeah. Yeah. I got the keys to the city. Yeah, classic. Classic love. Okay. Then he began to lean and have the hunger to save the community. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky at, right? Me personally, I believe that was another grave mistake by Nipsey Hussle. And not only Nipsey Hussle, but a lot of people that come from our community. That is a grave mistake. You know, we come from poverty, right? We come from the matrix. You know what I mean? We come from the trap. We come from the projects. And then we get some money, right? And we get some fame and some fortune. And for some reason in our community, the first thing we want to do is go back into poverty, back into our community, and we want to save the community. Listen to me. We want to save our people. As soon as we see some fame and some fortune, as soon as we get some motion, we go back into poverty. We go back into our communities and we try to save our community. Okay? Now, the downloads have downloaded, and I'm coming to the reality, right? That is a grave mistake, and Nipsey Hussle made that mistake. You know, Black Sam, everybody was saying, Nip, you know, let's get out of Crenshaw and Slauson. Let's put a store over on Melrose. Let's put a store over here. And Nipsey was adamant about putting that store and keeping that store in the ghetto, in poverty. And a lot of times when we do that, trying to change the matrix, we die in the process. We are assassinated in the process because, again, nobody is bigger than the program. And, you know, I want to speak to this because, again, nobody's going to speak to this. You know, we as kings, right? We want to change the circumstances of our people, not understanding that poverty is a construct. Listen to me. Poverty is a construct. Poverty is a man-made situation that plays perfectly into capitalism. So it don't matter how much money you make. It don't matter how successful you become. You can make $500 billion. You are not going to be able to eliminate poverty because poverty is not a natural ingredient in nature. Nature provides abundantly. If you go into nature, right? If you go into the natural situation of this world, there's going to be food on trees. There's going to be medicine in the leaves. There's going to be water. There's going to be animals. There's going to be an abundance of everything you need. But see, in this matrix, poverty is a man-made construct, just like race. You have to have poverty to fuel capitalism. You have to have poverty. You have to have the yin to the yang. You can't have rich without poverty. You can't have good without evil. You can't have love without hate. You can't have peace without war. And as men that come up in these impoverished situations, as soon as we see some light, the first thing we want to do is we want to save our community. Now, let me give you some context because I know it's a lot of people that's going to get in my DM and they're going to say, no, GMB, I see y'all in the DM. Let me give y'all some context on what I'm saying. Let me give y'all some texture to this. You got rich white people and you got poor white people. You got successful CEOs, millionaire, billionaire white people, and then you got trailer park trash or hillbilly white people. Notice that we never see successful millionaire white people setting up shop, buying businesses, and trying to save white people in the trailer parks. You ever notice that? We've never seen a millionaire white man with that dog fur go back to the trailer park and say, I'm saving all of my people. No more poverty. We're gonna buy the trailer park and everybody's gonna have great trailers. Eminem, for example. You ever seen Eminem in Detroit on 8 Mile in that same trailer park that he talked about? Yeah, the same trailer park where him and his dog fur having mother was popping pills and popping pussy and whatever they was doing. We ain't never seen a picture of Eminem doing anything to save those white people in them trailer parks. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The reason for that is because somewhere in their genetic makeup, somewhere in that dog fur, they understand that poverty is a construct, a necessary evil, that there is no fixing, there is no saving. You understand me? You cannot have one without the other. We all want to be rich. We all want to be successful. Well, you can't know what success is if you don't know what poverty is, nigga. You can't know what millionaire status is if you don't know what being broke is. If there is no being broke, then there is no millionaires. This is the dark reality. This is the lessons learned from Nipsey Hussle's mistakes. So putting that marathon, clothing store in the ghetto, ain't no problem with that. But you let people of the ghetto run it. You don't frequent that store. You let Cowboy, you let some niggas that's in the ghetto, you let them do that. But you being there is only a detriment to you and your family. You're only now a target amongst the poor. You are now a target. Once you were amongst the poor, you were of the poor. Now that you have become successful, you are a target for the poor. A motherfucker who didn't own a car. He didn't have $100 in his pocket. He didn't have an apartment. He didn't have his own real estate. This motherfucker didn't have nothing but a gun, envy, and jealousy. And because you thought you could save the ghetto, because you thought that you was bigger than the program, you made yourself accessible. You gave access. We are the only ones, and now don't get me wrong. Other cultures will build together. They will crowdfund their money together. They will do things to build their generational wealth. You understand me? But where I was able to connect the dots and see through the smoke and mirror is that these other cultures like Indians, etc., right? They do things to save their immediate family and their homies, and that's it. So you will see some Indians or some Mexicans, and they'll have their family and some of their homies, and they'll all live in an apartment or a house, and they'll build, and then they'll buy the house, and then they'll buy another house. Or the Indians, they'll have their whole family and a couple of their homies living in the house. They'll work at a dealership, then they'll buy the dealership, and then they'll buy another dealership, and they will create generational wealth for their family. But you don't see them same Indians going back to India, saving them poor ass Indians we be seeing eating that street food with the roaches and rats and all of that. You know them people that we see on social media from India, and they be sticking their hand and they be cooking with no gloves, and yeah, motherfucker throw the food in the dirt, put it in the pan, cook it up. The Indians that I see, they don't reach back to the poverty and pain. It is what it is. There is no escaping it. We are the only ones that get success, get fame, and feel as if we are obligated to go directly back into poverty, directly back into a shithole, and risk our life for people who are not coming out of poverty. You got to understand something. Everybody can't go. I don't give a fuck how many Vector 90s you provide. I don't care how many marathon burgers you put out there. There is going to be poor and rich, rich and poor. We are the only ones that do that. Nigga get $1 million, he buy a Maybach. We got pictures of this nigga back in the ghetto, parked in front of the projects. Then he get his ass smoked, and now it's goddamn, it's a sad song. It's a R.I.P. Yeah, like Chinks drugs and all that to do with French Montana. Soon as he got a couple of dollars, he bought a Porsche Cayenne and went back into the projects, and guess what they did? Turned his goddamn TV off. Yeah, they turned his TV off right out there. Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph. Nipsey Hussle's biggest mistake was feeding the environment, that gang culture, that deaf music, and then turning right around and trying to save that same environment that he poisoned, that he fed, bullets ain't got no names to. He went into that same environment and tried to save the same people that he poisoned. Okay? So, with all that being said, I have come to the conclusion, all right, that there is no getting away from this. This is the stain on Nipsey Hussle's jacket. There is no getting away from it. And hopefully, Black Sam is a smart man. Black Sam is a very intelligent, wise, smart man, and he's a warrior. So hopefully Black Sam understands this and understands how much protection young Nipsey is going to need in his life. how much protection he's going to have to keep around anything that has to do with Nipsey Hussle, especially on the West Coast. Okay? Because no matter how much we admire Nipsey, no matter how much good Nipsey did, no matter how much we respect Nipsey's hustle and his grind and his business acumen, the gang element that he chose to let into his circle will always put him, his mother, his father, and anybody else near his name at risk. Forever, my G. Until the day that the gang culture is stomped out like a campfire. I'm talking stomped out like it's over. Until you can say this shit, it's a wrap. Nipsey Hussle name will forever be synonymous. Forever. His son will reap the sins of the father. And see, again, a lot of people was in my DM. You know, we didn't have slaves. Our dog fur having uncles and aunties. But why would we have to reap the benefit? This is a prime example of what I was talking about, and it ain't got nothing to do with the dog fur. Nipsey Hussle's son looked just like Nipsey Hussle. He got the braids like a young Nipsey Hussle. He got the swagger of Nipsey Hussle. He will reap the sins of his father being entwined with that rolling 60 Crip. Somebody, yo, you think Nipsey Hussle's son would just be able to walk through LA or be somewhere where somebody ain't gonna say, hey, cuz, where you from, blood? Yo, that's Nipsey Hussle's son. I don't give a fuck who it is, cuz. And I know Nip didn't, you know, you can't foresee that. You can't predict that. His son will reap. If his son is ever caught in a bad predicament as a grown man, it could turn out bad for him just because of what his dad was putting out there. Now, I saw in my DM too, big salute. You know, I'll get to that, man, at the end of this live stream, but I was laying down, you know what I'm saying? My back is really hurt. I got chiropractor, physical therapy. But I saw in my DM that, you know, Black Sam, Nipsey Hussle's brother, is in the process of opening a Marathon burger store in Times Square, New York City. I want to give a big salute to Black Sam for, you know, keeping the marathon going, for making sure that the marathon continues. You know, I think that right there is major. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the Marathon burger store in Times Square is going to be, that's unprecedented, and that's fire. And, you know, I got a lot of love and respect for the Hussle family and the business acronym. You know what I'm saying? And I want y'all to see and notice how much love and how much positive energy. See, in New York, when they drop this, New York is going to be able to show y'all exactly what y'all supposed to be doing for Nipsey out there in LA. When Black Sam does that in Times Square, y'all going to be able to get a example of what the fuck is supposed to look like. I always felt a certain way about LA after what happened to Nipsey, because they said he's not bigger than the program. And maybe he's not bigger than the program, but y'all, the hate and the envy, it's almost like y'all didn't know what y'all was looking at when y'all was looking at him, because y'all see gang member. Y'all see rolling 60 Crip. Y'all couldn't see, but everybody outside of LA knew exactly what Nipsey Hussle was. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the, you know, that grand opening, and I'm really, you know, debating, and I really feel like, and I really think that I'm gonna make that trip up there for that grand opening. I went to, you know, I already went to the Nipsey Hussle, to the Marathon burger store out there on Melrose, in LA. You know what I'm saying? Took a bunch of pictures. I went live out there, had an amazing time out there. The burgers are amazing. The fries, the shakes, everything is is fire. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be able to get a Marathon store in every major city, guarantee. It's gonna be one in Miami. It's gonna be one in Atlanta. It's gonna be one somewhere in Texas. It's gonna be one every Chicago, New York City, Times Square. And you know, I just want to speak that into existence because, you know, regardless on what's going on in New York City, Hussle showed New York Crips a lot of love. Hussle is one of the only gang members from LA that came to New York City and respected y'all cripping and respected y'all gang culture and rubbed shoulders with y'all. And I can guarantee you it's going to be a hell of a show out, and it's going to be, you know, that real genuine love. I just wanted to say this out loud so that you dudes out there in Cali, y'all make sure y'all keep an eye open to what's going to happen in New York City. So the next time, if there is a next time, you know, Black Sam goes to open up another, you know, Marathon Burger somewhere on the West Coast, y'all can know how to fuck to act. It's nasty work, B. It's disgusting. But it's warranted. And that's why I came with this angle, because I think it's disgusting what y'all doing out there on the West Coast. But I understand that it is warranted. Nipsey, you know, Nipsey played into that. Nipsey wanted to be the spook by the door. He thought he could play into the gang culture, engage in gang culture, and then get the game and the knowledge and save the gang culture. And what you got to understand is, ain't nobody bigger than the construct of poverty and pain. It's nobody that's going to be able to save. No, listen, you can't stop that. That's like saying we're going to stop violence and it's always going to be peace. We don't want no war. It's only going to be peace. We don't want no negativity. There's only going to be positivity. There is no way you can have one without the other. It is absolutely impossible to have one without the other. You can't have pain without joy. You can't have love without hate. You can't have good without evil. You can't have the yin without the yang. You got to have both. So if it's rich people out, that motherfucker is going to be some poor people for sure. No way around it. And when we really get that out there and get that message and that seed to grow within the community, we'll really know what to do. It's not about abandoning the community, but what it is about is creating generational wealth for your family and your friends and your homies. And then you let your homies create generational wealth for their families, their friends, their homies, their nieces and nephews. And then you let that next generation of nieces and nephews create more general. You understand? And when you do it that way in due time, over generations, now you eliminate the poverty. Now you eliminate the ghetto environment. Now you make that, but it takes generations. It is not something that one man is going to be able to do. You can plant the seed, and that's what Nipsey Hussle did. With that hustle mentality, he planted a seed. They are going to, $100 to $500 million just off the Marathon Burger alone. That shit is amazing food. It is viral. It is no stop in the Marathon Burger. That shit reminds me of like an Apple store. You know, the all white building with the red striping and the lights all around it. It just reminds me of, it's nothing like it, bro. And I've been to one. Again, Melrose. I've been to the Marathon Burger on Melrose. Amazing. Nipsey thought he was going to be able to change the hood. He thought he was going to be able to save the hood. But really what he did was he planted a seed for his family to become extremely wealthy. And then Black Sam is going to teach young Nipsey, young Cross, and he's going to teach Amani, and he's going to teach the family members and the youngsters coming up, and they're going to keep the marathon continuing. Baby Hog, Young Hoggy, you know what I'm saying? Jay Stone, Pac-Man, right? Copy Supreme. These dudes will all become wealthy off the seed that Nipsey Hussle planted. And they will be able to create generational wealth for their families, their children, their nieces, and their nephews. And that's how the family tree, that's how the wealth tree grows. Just like that. And I speak it into existence. You know, I'm going to be one of the ones in my family that do the exact same thing. You know, I'm not the first million. I'm not going to be the first millionaire in my family because I got an uncle or two that's getting some M's. I got an uncle and I got family members that's touching certain amounts of paper. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be able to contribute. I want to be able to plant another tree, another seed that grows within my family, within my immediate circle, within for my niggas, my subscribers, my people. You know, that right there is, you know, that's the key. There is no stopping poverty. There is no saving the ghetto. There is no stopping this shit. Violence, you gotta have it. You can't have one without the other. You gotta have war to have peace. How would you know what peace is if you never had war? How would you know what war is if you never had peace? You can't know one without the other. All right? Big salute to the chat. Now, we're not going to stay much longer. The downloads have downloaded. And like I said, man, I've been kind of out of commission. I've been out of commission a little bit with this whole little situation. So I'm not going to stay too much longer. But I did want to just, you know, drop that. You know what I mean? Put that out there. Now, I want to, you know, I'm going to go into this last little angle, man. I'm going to get right up out of here. Big salute to the chat. Let's get into this receipt right here. I want y'all to listen to this, and then I'm going to speak to it, and then we're going to get up out of here. Big salute to the chat, man. Look at this. Look.
He keep talking about this deadly shooting that didn't have nothing to do with us. Nothing. What does this got to do with the marathon? Or the marathon burger? It's a block of fucking way. This didn't happen nowhere near us. Why the fuck would Stevie Wonder come to somewhere where it's a deadly shooting or anything, or it's scrutiny to a fucking business, especially a motherfucking food restaurant? Y'all don't believe the propaganda and don't believe this. Man, we had an extravagant day. Marathon Burger served over 4,000 Ain't talking about that, though.
Thank you, Lord. That's it. Yeah, you heard me, man. That's cool as I told you.
Now, you know, I got that in the DM and I looked into it, and you know, I'm one of the first to point the fingers at the higher ups and the elites. You know what I'm saying? If there is an opportunity for me to expose the higher ups and the elites, y'all already know that's what I'm gonna do over here on Grown Man Business TV. But we gotta be not only honest, you know, accountability has to be taken. So to act or to kind of try to persuade and create a narrative as if, you know, it had nothing to do with the Marathon Burger and the grand opening, and they trying to blame it on, and nah, homie, nah, nasty work. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Marathon Burger, again, is up under Nipsey Hussle, which is under a banner of the Rolling 60 Crips, right? And Long Beach is a Crip set as well. I think it's the Rolling 20s, right? But, you know, the nasty part about LA is Crips kill Crips in LA. You know, you ain't a real Crip until you kill one in LA. So you would think that the Rolling 20s and the Rolling 60s, they are a part of the same situation. They are under the same umbrella, and that they would be the best of friends, right? It's not how it works in LA. You know, one Crip gang is trying to kill the other one. You got the Rolling Hundreds. They want war with the Rolling 50s. The Rolling 50s is trying to kill the Rolling 60s. The Rolling 20s want to go to war with, like, so, yeah. The more you expand out there in LA, being that Nipsey Hussle, again, connected himself to a gang like to any gang, but the Rolling 60 Crips. You know, if you drop a goddamn marathon burger in Compton somewhere, it's probably gonna be a shooting as well. Yeah. Yeah, if you open up a marathon burger over there in the Hoovers, it's probably gonna be a goddamn killing go over. You ain't gonna be able to have a safe grand opening. Oh, it was around the corner, up the block. Yeah, well, some of you niggas went to go get your car. Y'all went into the carport. It was around the corner because it ain't no parking out there. And somebody got their goddamn TV turned off. Let's not bring the higher ups and the elites into this. Man, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? I ain't protecting the higher ups and the elites, and I ain't defending them. But I ain't gonna let you waste we got to make sure we shooting shots when these shots need to be shot. We can't be wasting. You understand? We can't be wasting bullets and you just trying to nah. You gang member niggas do what y'all do out there. Okay? Again, I got to give some accountability to Nip Hussle for doing what he did and attaching himself. If you ask me, in hindsight, it's 2020. Nipsey Hussle lost his life, bro, and we was all like, damn, I still can't. But sometimes I see clips of Nip talking, I be like, damn, they killed Nipsey, right? But in hindsight, once you can see clearly, like, right, then you can see, like, well, damn, that just come with this. Rolling 60 Crips don't consider you an actual Rolling 60 Crip until you kill a 60. You not a 60 until you kill a 60. They live by this. So now it kind of makes sense why a motherfucker just pulled the goddamn gun out and blew Nipsey Hussle ass down and then ran off and came back and blew his ass down again and then ran off and came back and blew his ass down again, kicked him in his goddamn head and ran up out the pot. It makes sense now because you ain't even really a real Rolling 60 Crip until you kill one. As smart as Nipsey Hussle was, you would have thought that he would have distanced himself from that type of shit with all that money he was getting. Well, you ain't really a Rolling 60 Crip until you get a kill one. Well, you might not want to be hanging around that motherfucker. You might not want to be goddamn popping up in the morning time, giving clothes out. You send your little man to do that. So in hindsight, I'm saying, well, damn, that sound like what they into over there. Nipsey Hussle, goddamn, it don't matter who your ass is. You goddamn old dog, Hurl at the Light, Kane from Menace to Society, any motherfucker goddamn Doughboy from Boys in the Hood. Get your ass shot down, Ricky just was trying to go to college. Ricky won't even no gang member. Ricky was from Crenshaw and Slauson. He had a contract and he was going to college to play football. And guess what they did to his ass in that alleyway? Ricky! The fuck make Nipsey Hussle so different? Nah. That was the biggest mistake of Nipsey Hussle's life is doing the gang shit. Yeah, they killed Ricky in the goddamn alley. Ricky was going to college, full goddamn scholarship. They talked to Ricky. They told Ricky had a goddamn baby. Ricky was trying to change her life. He wanted to play football. Guess what they did to his ass? Ricky! See? You see how they goddamn thing? Yeah, it is what it is. These motherfuckers, man, nah. No. So you're going to be able to see when Black Sam opens up this marathon burger in Times Square, you're going to be able to see how it's supposed to be done. The real type of celebration that is supposed to take place with a nigga like Nipsey Hussle is able to, and Black Sam keeps the marathon continuing. And I talk crazy about New York City. But I guarantee you this shit gonna be it's gonna be 10,000 people out there in New York City. It's gonna look like motherfucking New Year's Eve in Times Square. for the Marathon Burger in New York City. It's gonna look like the goddamn Juve parade. It's gonna look like the West Indian Day parade out there in New York City in Times Square, and it ain't gonna be one goddamn bullet let off, and it ain't gonna be nobody getting their ass shot, and everybody gonna be celebrating Nipsey, and everybody gonna be buying burgers. Because outside of LA, Nipsey was bigger than the program. And that's what I'm gonna close with. That's what I want to close with. Outside of California, outside of Crenshaw and Slauson, outside of LA, South Central LA, Nipsey was bigger than the program. We knew exactly what the fuck we was looking at. It didn't take too long. Jay-Z, everybody, we all could see, oh, homie is the way. Homie is the light. That's the savior. He gonna save you, he gonna save you. He gonna change the game for you goddamn California niggas. We all could see that Nipsey was gonna do something that Snoop Doggy Dogg could never do. And y'all killed him. And y'all fucking killed him and wonder why your ass can't go to a goddamn burger spot and get your damn head blown off. Blow your goddamn jerk curl off. Yeah. You wonder why you can't go to the goddamn swap meet without getting your goddamn jerk curl knocked off. Huh? Yeah, you wonder why you can't go to the goddamn LA swap meet without somebody popping off your jerry curl. You got Crip Mac running around talking about 5-5 Crip doing it. Yeah, you wonder why this is LA. Listen to me. Los Angeles is cursed for 100 years. I told you that. I told you that Big U, you know what? I got the fucking, I'm gonna go one more. Let me just give y'all one more receipt. Big salute to the chat. I told you that Big U, LA, is cursed for 100 years, nigga. I didn't lie to you. I didn't tell you no lies when I told you this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something to you, get it to you before we get up out of here. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I told you, nigga, cursed for 100 years, nigga. Let me see if I can find this. Let's look at this one. Big salute to the chat, love. Look! Be what it's gonna be. The ghost of Nipsey Hussle is gonna haunt Big U for the rest of his life. Big U is cursed for 100 years. It wouldn't matter if it was 100 years from now. Somebody is gonna ask Big U what he had to do with young Nipsey. It don't matter how long. It don't matter what's going on. The ghost of Nipsey Hussle is gonna haunt Big U. You could do anything right now. You could drop a documentary. You could drop a movie. You could open a record label. We are going to look at you sideways and ask you what you had to do with Nipsey. If something was to happen to Big U right now, the world is not going to cry because the ghost of Nipsey Hussle is haunting Big U. It don't matter what Big U do. It don't matter what interviews he do. It don't matter what kind of movies he drop. We always gonna ask what you had to do with Nipsey Hussle, homie. Damn! It's what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. God, they assassinated Nipsey Hussle and they gave us Crip Mac. They assassinated Nipsey Hussle and they gave us Brick Baby, and they made y'all love it. Made y'all love it. Shoved it in your face. Homie can't even talk without using the C. He coughed. Yo, I don't even want to try to talk like Crip Mac right now. It's just outrageous. Shit is crazy. Get rid of the Malcolm X. Get rid of the intelligent gangster and get y'all Crip Mac. Get y'all Brick Baby. Nipsey Hussle was giving up game. Nipsey Hussle wasn't always talking about gang banging. Nipsey Hussle was talking about investing. Nipsey Hussle was talking about opportunity zones. Nipsey Hussle was talking about health. Dr. Sebi got rid of Nipsey Hussle, smoked him, assassinated him, and then gave us Crip Mac and Brick Baby. Damn! Pretty much take it all. It's what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. When Nipsey died, the world cried. Globally, the world cried, nigga. Everybody felt that. That's how you were able to see what he could have been. The way the world cried. Jay-Z felt that. The world felt it, nigga. When Pac passed away, Pac was only 25 years old. Pac only did a few albums, couple of movies, but when he passed away, we felt it because we knew what his potential was. We knew that if Pac would have lived to see 35, we would have had another Malcolm X on our hands. If Pac would have lived to see 35, we would have had another Messiah on our hands. And that's the same thing with Nipsey. A lot of you dudes is sheep. Y'all can't see past the smoke and mirrors. Y'all only see the obvious. When Nipsey died, the world cried. Globally, the world cried. Damn! Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Big salute. Those are all my shorts, man. I got a whole lineup of them joints. It's about 10 shorts, man. Them joints did numbers. Them joints did numbers. One of them is like 500,000. Called Big U Set Nipsey Up. Y'all want to go check that content out, go check it out. Fire content on the channel in my shorts. You know what I mean? So if you like that, there's plenty more. I'm going to give you one more. Look. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Crenshaw and Slauson ain't been the same since Nipsey died. Y'all ain't been getting no money. Y'all niggas ain't rich rolling. Y'all ain't looking like nothing. But niggas say Nipsey ain't had power, or he want this or he want that, and y'all ain't been looking like nothing. Y'all been looking crazy since Nipsey died. It ain't nothing. It ain't no Rolls Royces riding down Crenshaw and Slauson. It ain't no gang members, no ex-gang members riding around in no G-Wagons or nothing. Y'all ain't never did it like Black Sam and Nipsey. Big U. He never thought in his wildest dreams that a little scrawny dude like Nipsey Hussle would be such a powerful human being that he would surpass him on all levels. That he would surpass him. Nipsey became bigger. Damn! Yeah, I did those joints. That you know, Tupac and Nipsey, they have such a, you know, they got so many, you know, common denominators between them two, right? So it was only right that I threw Pac in there because it's the same thing with Nip. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Nipsey living to be 45. He died at 33. Get that nigga 12 more years. You know what I'm saying? And imagine what he would have been able to accomplish. Look at what Black Sam is just doing off the wave of Nipsey Hussle. Just off the wave of Nipsey Hussle. Black Sam is about to create 200 million, $400 or $500 million. Yo, for real. An empire just off the wave of what Nipsey, off the remnants of what Nipsey left behind. So imagine if he would have lived to be 45, billionaire status. You understand? Same thing with Pac. You know, Pac died at what, 24, 20, I think he was 25. Imagine if he would have lived 10 more years, 35. That nigga would have went from thug life to some dangerous shit. He would have went from screaming thug life to really making a difference. And I always say that, but I feel like that's the exact same thing with Tupac. One of his worst mistakes was creating that thug character. You understand? I knew what he was trying to do, just like Nipsey. Nipsey was trying to influence the gang members, a army of niggas. It's an army of niggas. If you was to put all the gang members in LA right next, that's an army of niggas. And if you can tell them what to do, that make you dangerous. And what Tupac was doing was he was trying to reach the thugs, thug life. You know, the thugs, the gang members. He was trying to connect to them and create an army. But when you call yourself a thug, it's like calling yourself a gang member. You open yourself up to the things that thugs go through. You open yourself up to the consequences of being a gang member, the consequences of being a thug. One of the consequences of being a gang member, what is it? Your ass gonna you get your snot box rocked. What they tell you? Oh, you want to be a gang member? It's only 2 lanes. That's what you're gonna end up dead or in jail. Back in the day, it was the same thing with the whole thug mentality. Oh, you want to be a thug? Thugs only end up in 2 places, dead or in jail. And when you openly cast those spells, you You open yourself up. You leave yourself at the mercy of the consequences that thugs go through. The consequences of being a thug. You open yourself up. And guess what? Tupac died just like a thug would. Shot up in a goddamn car, laid in the street. Nipsey Hussle died exactly how most gang members die. Shot at close range. Dead in the goddamn street. Nipsey Hussle's biggest mistake was the Rolling 60 Crips. Gang life, gang culture. What up, cuz? On hood, on the dead homies, on Pyru. Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all this. It's no longer two. It's no longer two places you're gonna end up when you in a gang, dead or in jail. It's now three places: dead, in jail, or working for the goddamn U.S. government, like they say WAC 100 is doing. Your ass gonna be dead, in jail, or you gonna be an informant. That's the third option. Yeah, that's the third option. Dead or jail or a goddamn informant. Pick a choice. Pick your poison. Oh yeah. Big salute to the chat, man. Y'all already know. You know, I know y'all. A lot of y'all got some things to do. Y'all got work to do. Yeah, man. I gotta do what I gotta do with this chiropractor tomorrow, man. Just working. I'm gonna be able to go through the ins and outs with that, man. I can't wait to be able to actually like just talk to y'all and just tell y'all exactly what happened, man. You know, it's so crazy how your story can change. It's so crazy how, you know, just like Nipsey, you could wake up one day, everything smooth, and something could happen that could change your life, could take your life, could end your life, could alter your life. Like, this game of life that we are playing is just so unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's why I think I get biblical with y'all. Something in the downloads started to tell me to get biblical with y'all, not to like push, you know, the Bible on you or try to push this on you or that on you, but just to get biblical, just to make you aware, you know, of the other side of just different angles to this matrix. You know, I'm no religious person. I don't do no religion. I feel like religion is like, it's like spiritual gang banging. You know, what gang is you with? I'm a Christian. What gang is you with? I'm a Muslim. What gang is you with? I'm this, I'm that. I ain't with no gang activity. I don't do that. I'm more spiritual. I'm connected to the cosmos. I'm connected directly to the source. And like I said, man, we'll talk more about that. Nah, I didn't wreck nothing. I wasn't driving. I'll say that much. I wasn't driving, which is a beautiful thing. But when everything is settled, when we get everything settled and we get everything worked out, we'll you know, I'll then elaborate on it. But I don't want to. I'm not going to elaborate on it before the ink is dry. That's something I just don't do. You know what I'm saying? I learned a long time ago, don't speak on the situation fully until it's there. Don't talk about, you know, a nigga get to talking about some money, or a nigga get to talking about this, or a nigga get to talking about that, and it ain't even came into fruition yet. You know what I'm saying? You leave open areas for things to be compromised. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll talk more, but I appreciate that. Yeah, man, speedy recovery. Like I said, man, physical therapy, chiropractors, MRIs, CAT scans, these things are all happening as we speak. Yeah, I saw that situation, man, with hey Scott. Yes, hopefully, yes, that's where we going. Yes, Scott. Oh yeah, this is grown man business TV. We gonna motherfucking do the business. Always the business. The business. Yeah. I saw that situation. I appreciate that. Yeah, we gonna get back. I saw that situation with Jim Carrey, and I just wanted to put it out there that I seen it. I peeped it, and I don't know how, like the downloads haven't necessarily downloaded in regards to that, but it is something that I'm curious about. Like, I don't know, like that's not Jim Carrey. I will say, nigga, that's not Jim Carrey. Now, the downloads haven't downloaded because I don't want to say it's a clone. I'm not just gonna jump out the downloads got to be able to download. Oh, it's a clone. It's a clone. I don't know. This is they changed it. Who am I to say what that is? I know that ain't Jim Carrey. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna see. Well, I'm gonna end up speaking to that. Jim Carrey is dangerous, an absolute threat to the establishment. He's been a threat to the establishment for a long time. Jim Carrey been a threat to the establishment for a long time. Jim Carrey will pop out at one of these award shows and get to talking real crazy. Yeah, Jim Carrey will get to talking real crazy. And what you got to understand is Jim Carrey is he's on the same level as a Leonardo DiCaprio, a Tom Cruise. Jim Carrey is of the likes of those guys. So anytime there is an award show, anytime there is a celebration, anytime there is a ritual going on, a ritual being presented to the people, they want Jim Carrey there. They want Jim Carrey to speak. They want Jim Carrey to give his words of influence, because he is that influential. He is an influencer. You understand? And he is powerful. Yeah. But every time they get Jim Carrey ass out there and they give him a chance and they tell him, listen, Jim, we need you to go out there to lay off the ginger and the alcohol, please. Don't you get on that vodka. We need you to talk. We need you to do what we need you to do. You know what we want from you. He says, okay, and then he gets out there and get to talking crazy. Yeah. Yeah, talking about this and that, and we ain't real and this and that. I mean, Jim Carrey done said some wild shit. He done said some wild things, and he is absolutely dangerous to the point where even now everybody's looking, everybody's saying, man, what's going on? That might not be Jim. That can't be Jim. Jim wouldn't talk like that. Jim wouldn't say these things. He's dangerous. Now y'all got him out here all demure and all that, talking all, he talking real demure. That ain't the Jim Carrey we used to. So everybody's looking. Everybody's in my DM. Everybody's asking questions. Everybody got their antennas up. And, again, you got to go with your first mind. In this matrix, when you see something and your first thought most likely is the right thought. Yeah. Nobody looked at Jim Carrey and their first thought said, oh, there goes Jim, man. He looked good. Glad to see Jim Carrey back outside. Nobody thought that. Everybody's first thought was, who the hell is that? Or what the hell is that? Yeah, what is that? Who is that? That ain't Jim Carrey. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You couldn't I don't care who it is. Everybody looked at that man and said, we know you ain't. Where Jim at? Hey, get homie out the way. Hey, homie, hold on, homie. Go ahead and slide over. Hey, did you say Jim? So these games and these tactics are, as usual, being done right in front of our face. But it has become so redundant that it is obvious if you can see through the smoke and mirrors. It is obvious, my G, that something is going on. Now, with all that being said, do the higher ups and the elites think that you are smart enough to connect the dots? Absolutely not. That's why they do these things right in front of us, because the majority of us, they understand, are sheeple. Yeah, sheep people that are just being led this way and that way by the shepherd. And yeah, it's so many sheep people that the small 10 to 15% of us that can see through the smoke and mirrors, or even the 5% of us that can see through the smoke and mirrors, it's so many of them and such least of us, and not so many of us to where it doesn't even equal out. It's so many sheep people that it doesn't even equal out when I'm saying this to you. That's the power in the industry. Jim Carrey, we could get deeper into that. I'll probably do a live stream on that. But ask me if Jim Carrey is, you know, where he's at. Hey, Jim Carrey is where they take all of them at when they can't control them. Multiple different ways to skin a cat. They might hit you with some poison, do you like Muhammad Ali. You feel what I'm saying? They might hit you with something in that. Yeah, it was Michael Jackson. Yeah, his doctor said he's out of here. Do your ass like Prince. Yeah, they might just make you disappear. Yeah, they might leave a weapon in your hand next to your head and say it was one of those self-deletion situations. He self-deleted himself. We came and we walked in at 8:30 this morning and found Jim Carrey self-deleted. Self-deleted. Yeah, he self-deleted himself. In this particular situation, where I'm at with it is, it's not giving clone, right? But when you think about these movies and they have these prosthetics that they put on these people, and they can put this prosthetic on you, and they can shape your nose, and they can make you him and make her. And what it's saying to me is that somebody that is resemblance of Jim, it could be a splice of, they go far with this, but it looked and it gave prosthetic facial to me. The Mask. Listen, that's why I love my chat, man. Because we are all connected through this vibration. The Mask. Y'all remember that movie, The Mask? Y'all remember how that chin and all that used to look on The Mask? Go back and look at that clip of whoever that was. You know what I mean? Look at the corners of the eye, and look at little small nuances. It's all in the detail. It's all in the details. And again, to me, that's what it's given. But the downloads will download, and when the downloads download, I will deliver. But as far as right now, that's what it's given. It's giving The Mask. Yeah. Is what it is. It'll be what it's gonna be. Big salute to the chat, man. Yeah, I'm about to I'm gonna situate myself, man, and I'm gonna get this. I've been drinking big salute. I forgot the homie name, but I got that that beetroot, that raw superfood, that beetroot supplement, and the oil and oregano, and black seed oil. That shit is powerful. I've been popping them joints and drinking that beetroot in the morning. Woo. Yes. Yeah, man, I've been on it. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna pop one tonight before I lay down there. I'm gonna pop me one. And then I got some beetroot in the refrigerator. I'm gonna drink that down. The shit is not good. I ain't gonna lie, it's disgusting, but it's necessary. I might start mixing some lemon in it or something like that. Turmeric, yeah, I'm gonna look into that too. I've been hearing about that. I'm gonna look into that. Be careful of black seed. GBS will have so much. Yeah, that's it. I don't want no. My old lady wanted a baby. I don't want no more babies, man. I ain't gonna bullshit. I ain't impressed, but my old lady act like she want a girl. Yeah, man, that shit is powerful. I like how I feel though. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad. I appreciate. I've been looking into it anyway, but I appreciate the the guidance to the right product, the right brand. You know what I'm saying? I just want that real the real shit. You know what I'm saying? So many like off-brand knockoff pills and the little gel joints that's knockoffs that one joint that I'm on, I think it's the micro ingredient. I think it's called micro ingredient. That shit is it. Yeah, micro ingredients. Yeah, man, it's powerful. FBA Kush Boy 420, what it do, my Jesse? You in here? Do black seed oil every week, every other week. I've been popping them joints. It's mixed with the oil and the olive oil shit. It's mixed with that. It's like mixed in. So I've been popping that shit like it say take 2 tablets a day. So I take one when I wake up. I take one before I go to sleep. And then I've been kind of fasting. You know what I'm saying? I've been real light on the food. And then I take that beetroot before I go to sleep. And then I take it when I wake up. The first thing I drink is some beetroot and some water. Then I put that beetroot in there and let my digestive system take that in. Yeah, take it to it, motherfucker. I'm popping a motherfucker like Skittles. You gotta be hear me. Yeah, I'm popping out. I got multiple bags of the motherfucker. Multiple bags. Popping a motherfucker like Skittles. Man, I wake up. Shit. Yeah, man. And that's one beautiful thing about these platforms, man. You know, I just really believe that. You know what I'm saying? You really have to be careful. It's like getting into these platforms and then trying to, poison in the algorithm, right? And then trying to double back and save the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? I've seen content creators do that. I feel like that's what Haas did. I feel like the whole Bambaataa situation, it turned to poison. You know what I'm saying? If he could have like did that the right way, it could have been like, motivating us, inspiring to young men that had been through the same situation. And he could have opened up organizations and, had talks with young men that have been through those situations, but somehow it became poison. You know what I'm saying? And then when you try to come back and save the algorithm, people bring that up, the whole Bambaataa situation. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to do this shit the right way. And Nipsey figured it out, but he had already put poison into the atmosphere. He had already really poisoned. That Bullets Ain't Got No Name shit. Go listen to those CDs, man. You know what I'm saying? Fire music on them joints. He got the shit with Lloyd, feeling myself, feeling myself, I'm so fresh that I can't help it. I'm so fresh that I can't help it. I'm feeling myself. Like he got fire music, but it's like certain songs like Hussle in the House, Bullets Ain't Got No Name. These songs is rituals, my G. That Bullets Ain't Got No Name song is a fucking ritual. Yo, that's anytime I hear that song, I be like, damn, I can't believe Nip did that song. Like, damn, where was he at mentally? From the Nipsey Hussle that everybody knows now, you got to think, like, where was he at mentally when he made that song? Pull the trigger, shoot that nigga, make sure that you kill him, because bullets ain't got no name. Why is niggas acting like these niggas built to survive the shots, knowing damn well when I pull up, you gonna be outlined the chalk, that the money is shining, the rims is blinging, this money on your head, baby, man, I'm blinging. Just go that, that shit he was saying in that song was some real, like, walking through the door ritual type of shit, man. Yeah, he made that Donald Trump song. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to fix. He was trying to fix that. You know what I mean? That Bullets Ain't Got No Name is some shit he don't even talk about. You don't see him speak on those songs or that work that he did, those albums, those mix CDs. Yeah, man. So what time is this? 12:30. Perfect timing. We'll be going live, man, tomorrow. But like I said, I gotta kind of make sure I'm in the right mental, the right mindset, with everything I got going on. Yeah, get them likes up, man. Let me get 30 likes, man. Let me get 200 likes before we get up out of here. Let me get 200 likes before we get up out of here, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put some lemon. I'm gonna blend up some lemon. I'm gonna juice I'm gonna get some lemon juice and just drop like a couple of drops of lemon juice. That beetroot shit is foul, B. That shit is foul. I ain't gonna bullshit y'all. Ugh. It's powerful. It's powerful though. That's why I drink it. Even though I don't like how it tastes, I can taste that shit is powerful. You know what I'm saying? I can feel like when I drink that shit, I'm like, God damn, what is like cleaning your blood is, you know, got there making sure your blood pressure is right. That shit is powerful, bro. Pineapple juice and lemon juice. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. I think that's what it's gonna be. I'm drinking it straight right now. They probably like, yeah, you crazy. This shit is red as this, look. That shit about red as this robe right here. Shit look like it's blood. That beetroot, when you put that in some water and you mix it, that shit be red like blood. You know what I mean? Shit like a motherfucking vampire, bitch. I gotta put some. I'm gonna get some pine. I'm gonna put some juice in it. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow. I'm gonna give me some lemons. I'm gonna give me some lemon juice and I'm gonna get me some pineapple. So I gotta put something in there, but that shit is foul. Like, shit is not right, babe. But like I said, I could feel it, you know what I mean? So I don't care. I put a straw in there, I drink that shit right up. You know, yeah, you know, I'm gonna tell you, right? I saw the beat joints, like the gummies and all that. And me, I just think like I don't want. I'm gonna just drink it. I'm gonna just do it that way. I like it that way. I like how it feels that way. I feel like the gummies is probably they work, but it tastes like candy and it just don't feel. You know, a lot of this is mental, right? I'm gonna tell you, right? Our minds are so powerful. You know what I'm saying? They downplay our minds is like the most intricate, powerfulest computerish shit on this planet. Our minds, our brain. So you could be taking something and you could be saying to yourself, like, I don't feel this shit. I ain't really feeling it. I don't think it's working. And your body will go, it won't work. You know what I mean? Because your mind is saying it. You know what I mean? But yeah, the beet chews, I seen those. I had those before, and I just felt like them shits was like candy. It was like, take one a day. I feel like I wanted to take like 4 a day because they tasted like candy. You know what I mean? And then, I don't know, I feel like they didn't work. But like this beetroot, the supplement, the mix, like when I seen it, when I cut the bag open and I smelt it, I was like, God damn. Yes, sir. Then I drunk it. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. This gonna do the job right here. This gonna do the job, you know what I mean? So I just think like mentally, your mind gotta be convinced that this shit gonna work, you know what I'm saying? And then once your mind is convinced, then it starts with your mind. I don't care what it is, you know what I mean? I think if you don't believe it, because I had the chewies, it tastes like candy. I'm like, this shit tastes like some candy, some beet candy. You know what I mean? It's real good. Them shit's real good. I was running through them hoes. I had the box drum running through the motherfucker. And then I just felt like they wasn't working. That beetroot supplement shit though, that micro ingredients, man, when you bust that bag open, first off, it come in like it come in the micro ingredient bag, right? But on the inside, it's in another bag. It's in like a red bag, or maybe it's a clear bag, but that shit just turned red from the supplement. Man, you cut them joints up. When you smell it, it's like, woo. And it's a little ass, listen, it's a little ass scooper. The scooper is small, bro. And they say 1 scoop is a whole beet. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole beetroot. And that shit is this small. But you put that shit in some water, turn the water blood red, bloodshot. Like 1 cup with a scoop. You know what I'm saying? With that, yo, you got so many, man, that should have probably last you like 6 months. That 1 bag, because it's so little that you need. But like them the candies, you know, you get like 40 of them shits, man. Them shits be gone, bro. Ran through them motherfucker. I need to add one more thing for the nails and natural blessings. All like, yeah, man. Salute. Raw garlic, yeah. Yeah, I got garlic in there. I'm gonna start. I was thinking about I'll probably start chopping up garlic and taking a clove, like a piece of a clove every day. But I just wanted to start with the beetroot. The beetroot and the oil, the olive oil, the oil and oregano, and the black seed oil. That shit powerful. I be, you a belch, and you that oil and oregano will come up. You can smell it like, God damn. Woo. Yeah. Yeah, sure. All right, man. I wanted to, yeah, to choose and mix with sugar. Yeah, man. I don't like that. Salute. I don't like that, bro. And that's what my mom was telling me. It's like those chews got sugar like candy for some reason. And I don't need that part. I don't want this shit to taste like candy. I don't need it to taste like a gummy bear to take it. I need this shit to taste like beets. You know what I'm saying? Raw beet. They get beetroots. Yeah, I don't need it to have sugar. That's the whole goddamn problem anyway. Nigga eat sugar. Nah, homie. I don't need no motherfucking beetroot with sugar in it. I want this shit to taste like a beet. You know what I mean? I want it to be nasty. Yeah, I want it to taste like medicine. You know what I mean? Salute to you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, it's like I'm popping them joints open. And I'm like, this shit like a annihilator. It remind me of a chewy annihilator. The chewy annihilators. Like, that's what it remind me of. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, this shit like candy. I'm popping one before I go to sleep. I'm popping one when I wake up. I'm popping one through the day. I'm popping another one. I done ate 40 hoes. These bitches shit taste like candy. I can eat the whole shit in 2 days. That beetroot micro ingredient, the supplement, man, that shit smell like yeah. That smell like my little son, if he ran across those beet chewies, he gonna try to eat one because he gonna think it's candy. If my son ran across that micro supplement, he gonna no, daddy, I don't want it, daddy. Go ahead, EJ, get some of that. No, daddy, I don't want it, daddy. He gonna say, what he gonna say? I don't want it, daddy, I don't want it. That's what it's supposed to smell like. That's what it's supposed to feel like. The motherfucking chewies, this shit got sugar in it. My son be done pop 5 of them hoes. Like, what's going on? His whole mouth would be red. He done ate 5 goddamn chewies. I done left on the table. If I left that beetroot on the table with a straw in it, my son would drink a little bit of it, and he won't drink. And then he will. I try to get to him. Oh, daddy, I don't want it, daddy. That's what I need. You know what I mean? For my mental, I need that shit to be like medicine. You know what I mean? I need that shit to be pungent. I need it to be nasty. I need it to be something like this, some medicine. All right, let me get this down real quick and then get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to. We got oil and oregano chewies for you with sugar in it. I'm good. I'm good. Give me the oil and oregano That's it. You know what I mean? What the ingredients say. Oil, 100% olive oil, oregano, this, and that's it. It's like 3 ingredients in it. That's it. That's all I need. No GMOs, no gluten, none of that. I mean, okay, that's what, yeah. Salute the micro ingredients, man. It's fire product, man. Fire product. Yeah, man. So with that being said, bird kept me flu free for 20 years, but I don't have a habit of my just being silly. I believe it. Yeah, salute. I'm in my 40s, man. I'm in my early 40s, man. So it's definitely something that I like talking about with you guys and just bouncing ideas and rubbing shoulders, because that's a part of what happens, man. You go through your 30s and your 20s, man. You kind of run through those. You start touching your 40s, and you know, I'm real athletic. You know what I mean? I'm not your average 40-year-old. But it gets harder to like keep you get to eating crazy, your little guts start coming in. It's harder to get rid of that shit. You know what I mean? You sleeping crazy, your body get to move in a certain way. And it's like a drastic change, man. Like your diet gotta change, your sleeping habits gotta change. And yeah, you need to be taking like some, your vitamins, whatever. You need to, it's time to, for me, I feel like at 40 is when you need to start getting on that heavy, you know what I mean? So you can go into your 50s, better than you came into your 40s. You can go into your 50s because a lot of people, you know, especially like black men, a lot of people, you know, they don't make it out their 50s, man. So, R.I.P. to Power, he was 52. On a day, multivitamin, yeah, for sure. Cranberry juice without sugar, so more expensive. Exactly. They robbed us. I might do a whole live stream on that, but they robbing us in America. They poisoning us. You know, and it's past. At this point, it's past greed. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, it was like, yo, you know, the medical and the pharmacies and all these people got their hands in the pot and they want to get rich. But at this point, it's past. It's past money. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is damn near fake. Everything is, for the most part, is poison. It's almost like you need to fast weekly, 2 days a week. You need don't even eat nothing. Eat some fruit. You know what I mean? It's like the sugary shit. You know, you ever look at the sugar amounts in some of these drinks, man? Like I was drinking a what was it? It was one of those. It was like one of them sweet teas that you get. I can't think of the name of the sweet tea, but it'd be like 2 for $5 of them joints inside like the stores and all that. And they real good sweet tea, you know what I'm saying? But I looked at the sugar count one day. That shit said 28 grams of sugar in that little ass bottle of tea. How the fuck you get 28 grams? That's a whole ounce of weed of sugar in this bottle, bro. It's crazy. Nah, hell nah, man. Hell nah. Yes, it's crazy. Yeah, that green. I think that's what it is. The green leaf. Just the food supply. Oh yeah, they got their hands in that food supply. Lamont 80, man, appreciate that membership, man. Highly appreciate you. You already know what time it is. Right? It's straight artificial ingredients. Everything is poison. Everything, man. You know, it's at the point where it's like it's deeper than money. Y'all just trying to decrease the population. You know, I'm gonna do a whole lot, but you know, that shit with Bill Gates. Bill Gates, you know, he admitted to partying with Epstein and laying down with them Russian women with that dog fur, and his wife, you know, she went ahead and divorced. So he was over there with that shit. And ain't nobody, we supposed to be hanging these motherfuckers at the stake. We supposed to be, you know, we supposed to be running down. We supposed to be figuring out. We supposed to be going to war. Yeah, man. Once a day for sure. I'm really good with that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I can't give myself. Like when I wake up in the morning, I don't eat nothing. That's why I like that beetroot. I throw that beetroot right on my stomach first thing in the morning. Let that do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Sometime during the day, I'm gonna go get a coffee, but I'm real light with the sugar on the coffee. And then you know, and then I'll eat something, whatever it's gonna be. It's a real small portion. Let's just say I eat like a slice of pizza or something, or I might eat whatever it is I eat. It's very small portion of it. You know what I'm saying? And then I won't eat for the rest of the night. And now instead of like drinking sweet tea or lemonade, because I mix the sweet tea with the lemonade, I just take down a 1 cup of beetroot. Start using honey instead of sugar. Honey inside the coffee. I've been trying to figure that out, man. I might just have to quit coffee all the way around. But I really like coffee. You know what I mean? That's one of my vices, man. I really like coffee. I tried to put Splenda in it. That shit ain't work. You know what I mean? I tried to put the other stuff in there. That shit ain't yeah, that shit ain't work, man. I was like, damn, man. Next thing you know, but I started using way less sugar. I would just put like a couple packs of sugar in there. It tastes like it's no sugar in there, but I just put a couple packs, but try agave. Okay, I'm gonna look into that. It's healthier than processed sugar. Matter of fact, see, and this is what we get to doing on this channel. Let me see something real quick. Let's look into this agave. Because I don't know what that is. I never seen it before. Okay. Nectar, okay. It's like a raw amber honey. Agave. organic agave, and raw nectar. Okay. And you put that in your coffee? I might just have to start drinking tea. I really, I like a cup of coffee a day. I really do, man. I might try that though. I might put that in the coffee and see what that does. Okay, I'm gonna try it then. Pronounce agave. Yeah, I see it. I got it pulled up right now, Breezy. You can get it anywhere too. You can get it in the Walmart, Target. I don't really shop at Target anymore, but they all the same. Organic agave and raw agave and raw organic nectar liquid. Raw organic raw amber honey, gluten-free, shelf-stable. Yeah, I'm gonna grab one tomorrow. Better than energy drinks. Yeah, I don't do energy drinks. Try the honey, bro. I'm telling you, it's good. All right, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna get some tomorrow. Cause really, other than that, I don't take no sugar in. Like, I don't eat no candy for real. When I was over the road, I would eat candy like M&Ms and shit, but I kind of stopped eating all that. But you know, you eat like if you eat bread or if you eat bread, that shit turns into like sugar. It's just so weird, man. V8 Energy is cool though. Yeah, real tequila is made from agave. Agave, okay, agave. I think that's what it is. Okay, yeah. I think I heard of that now. Now that you say that, because I see that up here too. Real tequila is made from that. Salute. Green tea and honey is very good together. Yeah. I got the tea down pat. I just think like the coffee, it's the nicotine. I said nicotine. It's the caffeine in the coffee that because I like tea too, but I feel like I gotta have a coffee, at least one coffee a day. I go get a coffee a day for sure. No bread, no pasta. Yeah, no bread. I don't really do pasta a lot. I don't do pasta that much. But the bread though, I gotta be fucking with the bread. Yeah, I know what the honey is. Make the soda in a tall glass. Make the soda in a tall glass? What soda? I was craving some soda. Okay, spring water. Okay, I got you. You just made it Sprite. Okay, I got you. I think I seen that on social media somewhere where somebody made like a natural soda. I'm not really pressed about soda. I don't drink soda at all. You know, I think soda is so poisonous, right? It's so bad for you that once I figured out what the soda was, I don't even have craving. I used to have cravings for like Pepsi. I would have every blue moon, I would have a craving for Pepsi. But I haven't thought about soda in a lot. I don't drink no soda, man. So me making it, I don't know. I would just have the recipe just in case, something go down. But as far as like, I wouldn't even be ready to. I wouldn't even do it because I don't even drink soda. So I'm gonna eat whatever we doing anyway. Yeah, I want to speak to that, right? He said I'm gonna eat whatever we going anyway. The thing is, man, we definitely that's definitely I can agree with that. Everybody got to go, but once you start gaining things in life, once you have things to lose, you start wanting to be here longer. You know what I'm saying? You might have like a son, or you got kids, you got a wife. Once you realize that it's heaven is on earth. You don't have to die to get to heaven, right? You can make heaven on earth. So it's not a matter of if we gonna go or not. It's about when, right? So you just eat whatever you want. Then at 51, you 52, now you wish you had more time. You wish you had more time. You know what I mean? And you coulda, if you would have started doing this shit in moderation, if you would have started taking this to consideration, what you were doing, but you said, oh, I'm just gonna do what I wanna do, cause dog, all right. Salute, appreciate that 4-piece nugget, man. 5-piece. That's a $4.99. That's a 5-piece. I haven't seen the video of Black Sam getting into it with 60s at Nipsey Hussle Square sign reveal. Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna use that for one of my my receipts, but I didn't get it. I didn't know exactly what that was about. So I just kind of stuck with what happened at the Marathon Burger. But I seen like shit turned up at the renaming. You know, I don't know if y'all remember this, but when Nipsey Hussle passed away in 2019, it wasn't long after he passed away that the city wanted to rename Crenshaw and Slauson to something like Nipsey Hussle or, you know, his name. They was trying to rename them streets back when Nipsey died 7 years ago. But the Crips didn't want that to happen. You understand what I'm saying? The gang members and the Crips, and they was saying, no, Nipsey, nobody's bigger than the program. This shit is Crenshaw and Slauson. They didn't want the street to be named or renamed. You know what I'm saying? Because they was going to rename the whole Crenshaw and Slauson. This time what they did is they left Crenshaw and Slauson and they just renamed they renamed the corner. The corner is Nipsey Square. The parking lot he died in, the parking lot that they purchased with a Marathon store and everything else, that corner on Crenshaw and Slauson is now called Nipsey Square. But the streets are still called Crenshaw and Slauson. That intersection is still Crenshaw and Slauson. But when Nipsey first died, they was trying to name the streets. They was trying to take Crenshaw and Slauson and get rid of those names and actually name it like Nipsey Hussle or Nipsey. They was doing some shit like that, and the gang members was against it. So that's what kind of piggybacks off of what I was saying earlier. It don't matter how positive the event is. It don't matter how gracious or how much you do for the community. It don't matter, because that element is that element. That gang element, that poverty element, it is what it is. There is no fixing. I don't give a fuck if you came out there and you threw $1 million in the air. Once everybody picked that money up, it's going to be somebody that didn't get none. It's going to be more, once they get that money and they spend it, them niggas going to turn around and they're going to be ready to kill you for some more. It's no way around. It's just no way around that. You know what I mean? So I saw that video. I think I seen it. Somebody salute everybody in the DM. I saw the clip. And I was like, damn, that looked like Nipsey Square. That don't look like over there at the Marathon Burger. That shit was, they was turning up at the guy. Do I got that shit? I think I might still have it pulled up. They was turning up at the actual, you know, the Nipsey Square shit. They was turning up over there, you know what I mean? So it's just really no way around it. There's no way to save it. Yeah, they do a lot out there, man. You know, Nipsey lot looked good too. You know what I'm saying? They repainted everything white. They got that shit cleaned up nice and neat. They about to build on top of it. You know, the Olympics are coming to LA in 2028. You know, man, they so crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you can only imagine if Nip was here, like spearheading this shit. Black Sam do what he do, but it's just still to this day, it's not, I don't want to say awkward, but you could just tell like that wasn't Black Sam position. You know what I'm saying? Rubbing shoulders with all the celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Black Sam was never the cool nigga. Nipsey was the cool brother. Black Sam was just the the money getting businessman nigga that no tolerance. Yo, if Black Sam was there when homie shot Nip, he might have got them first shots off. But Black Sam guaranteed would have chased that nigga down and smoked him, yo. Guaranteed. Or he would have got into a big ass shootout with him. But I guarantee you, homie would not have. Soon as the first shot went off, Black Sam would have came out that store. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Sam was more like the soldier. Nip was the face and the brand. And Sam was more like behind the scenes, a shrewd businessman, a monster. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no way, you know, that element is always going to just be dangerous, because, you know, if a nigga smoked Nipsey, Sam ain't no gang member. Sam ain't got no say-so on what them Crip niggas is doing out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't Nipsey, man. I ain't Nipsey Hussle, man. I'll probably leave that store out there. We gonna name the street. But I had some people out there handling that. I wouldn't step. Listen, nigga would did that shit to my brother out there. I'm not coming back out there. And it'll be like, fuck y'all niggas. And it'll be like that too. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Nigga, y'all get. Nah, man. Nasty work, man, what they did to homie. But again, Nipsey, he laid the foundation for that. You know what I'm saying? He spoke that shit into fruition. Exactly what he said on them songs, that shit happened to him. Pull the trigger, shoot that nigga, make sure that you kill him. That's exactly what homie did. He pulled the trigger, he shot Nipsey, and then he came back 4 times and make sure that he did exactly what Nipsey told him to do. You know what I mean? Nipsey said that. All right. So listen, man, y'all already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You already know, man. You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man Business. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoating nothing. We not dressing nothing up. I'm only here to give you this game. Straight raw, my G. Pure dope. Straight off the brick into the bottles. No fentanyl, no baking soda, no quinine. We ain't water whipping this dope and we ain't counter whipping this dope. It's pure. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Let me get one more like, man. Stop playing with me. I need 200 likes in here, man. 1,300 people in and out the chat. 200 likes. I can do that. Hit the like button. Yeah, nigga. Hit the like button. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it right there. Big salute to the chat, man. You know, yeah, we're gonna have some good conversations, man. We're gonna have some good things coming up. Like I said, this situation with the with like what happened, you know, these truck situations is a little bit different. They take a little bit longer than the average automobile situation. But you know, we're gonna close that out. And we got some big things coming. We got some big changes coming to the platform. I'm looking to, I don't know. I think I'm gonna push to 100,000 for sure, and then we're gonna start upgrading and we're gonna start elevating. You know what I'm saying? But I want 100K. I want 100K first. We approaching 60,000. Big salute, big salute. Red, appreciate that. Breezy Santana, yeah, man, we out. We gonna tap in sometime later today, all right? So y'all keep your head on the swivel, man. Be aware of your surroundings. Stay motivated and quiet, and you know, and inquisitive. There you go, inquisitive, right? Stay motivated. You know what I'm saying? Stay spiritually connected. You know what I mean? And let's just stay grounded. You feel what I'm saying? And let's just stay, you know what I'm saying, hungry. You know what I mean? Always have a hunger for more. Like, we gonna get to the next level. We going up. We not stopping. We approaching 59,000. We right there at 60K. All right? I thought that before, you know it. Double tap, subscribe. Yeah, hit the double, man. Double tap that joint, that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We gonna tap in later today. All right? So you already know what time it is, man. It is your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You understand what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Gang.